Ever feel like your mind is just buzzing,
Yeah.
packed with thoughts, never really quiet?
Oh, absolutely. Nonstop sometimes.
And right in the middle of all that noise, do you ever just wish you could cut through it, get a real sense of what's actually happening?
Yeah, like what's really real, both around you and inside.
Exactly. That craving for clear, insightful knowledge, the kind that just clicks, that aha moment. That's what we're diving into today.
We are. We've got a really fascinating set of ideas to explore, all coming from the teachings of Japji Sahib.
Right. As introduced by Guruka Singh on the Sikhnet YouTube channel.
Precisely that. And this isn't just scratching the surface. We're aiming to go deep into concepts like inner truth, compassion, contentment.
And practical ways to experience them, too, like meditation.
Yes, exactly. He offers meditations alongside the concepts.
Okay, so our mission today and yours, since you're tuning in, is to pull out the key insights from these talks.
Yeah, to really get a handle on this different perspective on, well, reality, how our thoughts work.
And maybe find a more present, maybe more fulfilling way to live. Basically, a shortcut to some pretty deep wisdom.
That's the goal. And our main sources, just to be clear, are those Guruka Singh videos on Sikhnet.
Specifically, the intro to Japji Sahib and the ones on the first three virtues.
That's right. Truth, compassion, and contentment. He lays out the ideas and gives guided meditations to sort of feel them out directly.
Okay, let's get into it. Starting at the beginning seems logical. Guru Singh kicks off his introduction to Japji Sahib with Ik Onkar. Now, you often hear that translated as, there is one God. But he makes a really interesting point, doesn't he, that maybe that translation misses something.
It does. The core idea, he explains, isn't just one God, like a separate being out there somewhere.
Right.
It points to something more like a fundamental unity. He calls it all one force.
All one force, bringing everything into existence, like everything we experience.
Exactly. Physical reality, thoughts, feelings, everything. It's not about some entity out there. It's about this inherent interconnectedness of it all.
Okay, and here's where it gets really personal for you listening, I think. Because if it's all one force...
Then, as he puts it, you are that reality.
Wow, okay. So, unborn, infinite self-illuminated, it totally flips the script, doesn't it?
It really does. Instead of searching for something external, it's about recognizing this deep, intrinsic truth within yourself.
Does that idea resonate with you? I mean, it's pretty profound.
Absolutely. And it leads straight into the first section, the first pauri of Japji Sahib, which basically says that this fundamental reality, this suchness, you can't grasp it just by thinking about it.
You can't just think your way into understanding reality. That's huge.
It is, because we rely so heavily on thinking, right? We figure if we just analyze enough...
We'll figure it out. But this suggests thoughts are, well, just thoughts. They're fleeting.
Fleeting, exactly. And maybe not as unique or original as we like to believe.
What do you mean?
Well, Guruka Singh brings in this concept of a group mind, or maybe an infinite mind.
A group mind. So our thoughts aren't just brewed up inside our own individual heads.
That's the idea he presents. We're all sort of tapping into this larger mental landscape. The thoughts we experience aren't necessarily our creations, not in the way we usually think.
We just think they are.
We think they are. We get, as he says, enchanted by our own thoughts, believing they hold all the answers.
Which, according to this first stanza, might be the very thing that keeps us stuck.
Right. No matter how much we think, that deep longing for real understanding might stay just out of reach.
So, if thinking isn't the way, what is? How do we connect with this reality?
This is where the concept of hukum comes in, H-U-K-U-M.
Hukum.
Guruka Singh describes it as the way things are, the natural unfolding, the inherent order of everything.
The flow that's just happening, whether we notice it or not.
Exactly. It's the underlying current.
And he says walking in hukum, living in alignment with it, that's the key to breaking through the illusions of our mind.
That's the path he points to. It means letting go of our rigid plans, our fixed ideas about how things should be, our attachments to the past.
And just waking up to now.
Yeah.
To the present moment.
Yeah, accepting the natural unfolding instead of constantly trying to fight it or control it. How does that idea of letting go feel to you? It's simple but not easy.
That sounds liberating, but yeah, definitely not easy in practice.
It's about surrendering to the flow, really. And Japji Sahib goes on describing steps like deep listening sunnier and surrendering to that flow monay.
But these first ideas, ikaka and hukum, they set the stage.
They really do. They lay the groundwork for understanding the virtues we're diving into next.
Okay, let's talk virtues. The first one, truth, or suit. S-U-T. Now, usually when we hear truth, we think honesty, right? Not telling lies.
We do. But Guruka Singh suggests it's deeper than that, much deeper.
How so?
He explains suit as facing each moment exactly as it is. In its totality. The light and the shadow, the pleasant and the unpleasant, without filtering it through our desires or what we think should be happening.
So experiencing reality directly, without the screen of our thoughts and judgments.
Precisely. He gives this lovely example of a transcendent moment.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that sudden, clear seeing of the extraordinary in something ordinary, like the pattern on a leaf or the sheer vastness of the sky at night.
I know those moments.
Yeah.
Where things just feel incredibly real and beautiful.
Exactly. In those moments, he says, the reality is so present it almost stops thought. That's a glimpse of suit. Have you had moments like that where everything just...
Definitely. They don't last, usually, but they're powerful.
And to get to that state more often, or to live from there, he says we need to actively question our illusion.
Our assumptions, the stories we tell ourselves.
Yeah, the beliefs we've built our whole reality on. Unless we consciously look at them, we stay stuck in that thought-created world.
So it's not passive. It's an active inquiry. He talks about looking at our feelings with curiosity.
Right, instead of just getting swept away. If something triggers a strong reaction.
Like anger or fear.
Yeah, instead of instantly getting lost in the story, they shouldn't have said that. You take a step back. Observe the feeling itself. Where's this coming from? What's underneath it?
Like being a detective of your own inner state.
Kind of. And he introduces this idea of the watcher within us, that part of our awareness that can just observe thoughts and feelings without getting tangled up in them.
The observer self.
And he makes another powerful point. When we really look at other people, we're seeing that same fundamental essence, that same one force.
We're seeing the divine in them, basically.
In a way, yes. He also mentions practices like satsang and vishar,
Which are
basically coming together with others, discussing these ideas, sharing experiences, deepening understanding together. It's not meant to be a purely solitary journey.
That makes sense. Community support. Okay, so after truth, sit, comes the second virtue, compassion. Daya. D-A-Y-A.
Yes, Daya. And Guruka Singh has this beautiful way of defining it. He calls it feeling together.
Feeling together.
Yeah, like tuning into the frequency of others, opening your heart to their experience.
He uses that analogy, doesn't he? The guitar and the piano.
He does. It's a great one. You play a C note on the guitar.
And the C string on the piano nearby starts to vibrate.
Exactly. Resonance. He suggests our consciousness can work like that. We can consciously choose to tune in, to resonate with another being's experience. Have you ever felt that happen, that kind of deep resonance?
I think so, yeah. Like you just get what someone's going through on a level beyond words.
And a really crucial part of this is listening. That idea of sunnier again. Truly listening and feeling what others feel.
Without judging. Without jumping in to fix it.
Exactly. Just being fully present with their reality, even if it's painful or difficult. Holding space for it.
That requires letting go of our own stuff, though. Our own agenda.
Absolutely. He talks about needing to disarm the enchantment of our own self-interest.
The enchantment of self-interest. I like that phrase. Because so much of our day is I, me, mine, isn't it?
It really is. How do you think we even begin to disarm that? It seems like a huge task.
Well, one practical thing he suggests is rising early, before the day's demands kick in.
Ah, the Amrit Vela, that quiet time in the morning.
Right. He says that quiet allows us to expand into the spaciousness of that infinite compassion before we get caught up in our own little world.
Makes sense. Creating space before the clutter arrives. And he brings back the watcher idea here, too, the buddhi.
The observing mind.
Yes. That part that can see thoughts come and go without grabbing onto them. Cultivating that, he says, leads to spontaneous compassion. It's not forced, it just arises.
An intuitive understanding of others.
Ultimately, living in Daya means feeling every living creature inside yourself, really feeling that interconnectedness we talked about with Onkar. We're all part of the same mind, the same heart.
Wow, it connects back beautifully.
It does. And when you truly experience that oneness, he suggests, compassion isn't just an action or a feeling anymore. It becomes almost a form of worship.
Worship? How so?
Seeing the divine, that one force in everything and everyone, feeling love not just for individuals, but for all of reality. It's a fundamental shift in how you relate to the world.
That's incredibly profound. Okay, so that naturally flows into the third virtue, contentment. Santak. S-A-N-T-O-K-H.
Yes, Santok. And Guruka Singh presents this not as something you chase or try to acquire.
Like buying things to make you happy.
Exactly. He says it's more of a natural outcome, something that arises when you cultivate truth, sut, and compassion, daya.
How does that connection work?
When you genuinely connect with other beings, when you see reality as it is and you realize this deep interconnectedness, contentment can just naturally settle in.
He says it's about not laying my trip on reality. I love that phrase, too.
It's great, isn't it? Letting go of all the wishing, the wanting, the constant struggling to make things fit your idea of how they should be.
Which he contrasts with, what do you call it? Group psychosis.
Yeah, the group psychosis of always needing more, more, more. That constant drive for accumulation. Does that sound familiar in our society?
Yeah, just a bit. It's everywhere.
And he makes this crucial point. Real fulfillment isn't found out there in consuming more stuff.
We already have what we truly need.
That's the insight. That constant looking outside ourselves often comes from not recognizing the fullness that's already here in the present moment.
So the practice of contentment, Santok, is about accepting the present exactly as it is.
Exactly. Even the uncomfortable bits, the difficult feelings. Instead of running from them or trying to find some external fix.
You just allow them to be there. How easy or difficult do you personally find that? It sounds simple, but...
It's definitely a practice. Not always easy. He does make a distinction, though.
Between
desire, that relentless mental craving, the I need this to be happy thought, and natural striving.
like a plant growing towards the light.
Exactly. That's just nature unfolding. Santok means not getting trapped in the thoughts about what we think we need or what we think should be happening.
It's about resting in our natural being, trusting that it's okay, that we're taken care of by that underlying reality.
Precisely. Resting in what is.
It's such a liberating idea that even our feelings, anger, joy, sadness, they aren't necessarily mine in a possessive way.
Right. They're part of the fullness of the moment, as he says, held by the one, by that larger reality.
Or the whole picture.
And he links Santok back to sunnier again, that deep listening.
How does listening connect to contentment?
He suggests it's a way to train the mind, to learn to be present, to quiet the constant chatter of wanting and judging, and from that presence, deeper understanding and contentment can arise.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, you mentioned meditations earlier. Each of these videos includes one, a guided listening meditation.
Yes, they do.
Can you say a bit about what role those meditations play in all this? Are they just for relaxation?
They're more than just relaxation, though they can be relaxing. They're really the practical application of all these ideas we've been discussing.
Oh, so?
They're designed to help you cultivate presence, sharpen your focus, and connect with what's called the sound current in this tradition.
The sound current, like an inner sound or vibration?
Sort of, yeah. A subtle internal energy. And the specific mantras used like Waheguru or Satnam.
Waheguru, Satnam.
Right. And the hand position he guides, left hand on the heart, right hand over it. These are techniques, tools to help center yourself, quiet the mental noise.
So the goal isn't just to chill out, it's to actually try and have a direct experience of this reality beyond thought.
Exactly. And to nurture these virtues, truth, compassion, contentment within yourself, to feel them.
So it moves beyond just intellectual understanding.
That's the intention, to tap into a deeper, more experiential knowing.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot to take in. So if we were to boil it down, what are the absolute key takeaways for someone listening right now?
Well, I think at its heart, these initial teachings from Japji Sahib, as Guruka Singh shares them, they really emphasize a few core things.
Right.
Like the fundamental interconnectedness of everything that Onkar, the idea that our unchecked thoughts can be illusory, they aren't necessarily reality.
Right, the enchantment of thought.
Exactly. And then the vital importance of living fully in the present, seeing things as they truly are, that's truth set.
Right.
Then recognizing and feeling our shared experience with all beings, that's compassion, daya. And finally, accepting the present moment, whatever it holds, with grace and understanding, that's contentment, santok.
So interconnectedness, the limits of thought, presence, truth, compassion, contentment. Those are the foundations.
Those are the big ones from this introduction, yes.
And for you listening, maybe you came here looking for knowledge, a way to cut through the noise.
Oh.
Well, these insights offer a really powerful framework.
Yeah, understanding that your thoughts aren't always the whole story and cultivating these qualities, it might just help you navigate things with a bit more ease.
Maybe get more of those aha moments. Feel a little less overwhelmed by that constant mental buzz we started with.
It certainly points in that direction, and maybe it leaves you with a question to ponder as you go about your day.
Oh, like what?
Like, how might your actual direct experience of the world shift, even subtly, if you started watching your thoughts just as thoughts passing by, rather than absolute truths you have to believe and act on?
Just observing them instead of identifying with them. That's a powerful question.
Or maybe think about this. What might it feel like to approach each moment, the good, the bad, the boring, with the simple intention of just observing it as it is, without that immediate urge to judge it, or fix it, or change it?
Just letting it be. Wow. Definitely food for thought.
For sure.
And if this introduction has sparked something for you, if you're intrigued, we definitely suggest exploring further.
Yeah, check out the full Japji Sahib, or spend more time with those videos on the Sikhnet YouTube channel. There's a lot more depth there.